Welcome back to Your Lake Fork Guide. We got a Guides Network episode today. Got my boy Austin Fowler, one of the young hammers of East Texas. That's right. He may not own up to it, but the boy can fish, that's for sure. Hey, there's a pattern that happens every pre-spawn, every winter. It's a darn good one. It's one I'm not very good at, but I brought somebody on here that knows a little more about it than I do to talk about it, and that is a shallow suspending jerkbait, right? It's a hammer. It catches some big fish on Lake Fork and all the lakes in East Texas, really. So Austin's going to teach you about that today, so you guys stay tuned.
Guys, here is the old famous jerkbait. KVD's probably favorite bait right here, and it is a bad to the bone bait in the winter time. You get all these fish here in the winter that's just they don't like to move, they don't like to go nowhere, they don't like to eat. But if you get this jerkbait in front of a fish's face, they're gonna eat it. They can't resist it. It is a great cold water bait. I mean, KVD even throws it in the all day, every day. I mean, he don't care, he can still make it work. But this here is a 6 Sense Provoke 106X. I have it here with a black back chartreuse on it because the Lake Fork's a little bit stained, and that chartreuse gives it a little bit more flash to it. So in turn, you're gonna get a lot more reaction strikes to it. It just looks a lot better in the water. But just a great bait right now. Catch a lot of fish on it. Now, there's a lot of things you can do with a jerkbait. A lot of ways you can go wrong with it too. So having the right gear is very essential. In turn, to get you a lot more bites, because if you don't, then you're either going to not get much bites, you're going to miss a lot of fish, you're not going to be able to get in the boat. So all you have, your setup is very crucial. So I'm throwing mine on a 6'8" Bushido made by Real Time Rods at Lake Fork, custom made. Now, I have a very fast tip on this too, because with these treble hooks, you want this fast tip. You want your rod to bend, and you don't want to horse them in real fast. And so you want that shorter rod for when you're jerking it. You're not hitting the water. You still have to have that backbone in to get that jerkbait down there. Now, and then the line is very crucial too. I like to throw mine on 12-pound fluorocarbon. I'm throwing it out a lot further with that smaller line. I'm getting it down a lot deeper too. And so in turn, like I said, you can't horse these fish in as hard as you can. I mean, you have to let them work, you have to let them fight, and you have to turn your drag down, your reel some. So along with the 6 Sense jerkbait, we have a lot of other types of baits too. So we have here the 6 Sense Ghost Cloud color. This is a great shad looking type bait. You know, you can throw this when the shad are spawning. I've caught a lot of fish on this too when the water's a little bit more clear. You know, when you're not wanting all that color to it too. I mean, this is the most natural looking shad color here. Along with that, we have the Limit Snatch. This is another great one. I like this one for about the same time as I would with that one, with this Ghost Clown. It's just all about preference, you know, which one you feel more confident in. You know, this one here, I can dive it a little bit deeper than I could the 6 Sense. The 6 Sense one's gonna suspend a little bit better than this one though. And then when it's really tough and you really hurt for some bites, you got the Baby Snatch, made by Limit too. This was just a 3-inch. You can throw this, you know, it's not going to dive as deep as, you know, the bigger 5-inch one, but even with this 3-inch one, it's got just the way they've designed this bait is when you cast this bait, you can launch it a mile. I mean, it's when you're casting it, that weight shifts to the back of this jerkbait, and you can sling it. You know, a lot of times you'd be worried about, you know, it's a smaller bait, so I gotta be careful about backlash and throwing against the wind. That's not the case with this. Like I said, it's not going to dive as deep as the bigger one, but it's still going to be a great shallow water jerkbait here. And along with that, we got the Mega Bass Vision 110. This one is very bright. You can see it's got bright chartreuse back and the orange belly. This is very similar to the 6th Sense one, but this one's going to be for a little bit more dirtier water. I have been catching fish on this too at Fort, just not as much. I don't like it just near as much as I do the 6th Sense one. I think the 6th Sense one dives a little bit deeper and suspends a little bit better than the Mega Bass. That's just my personal preference. Everybody has their differences. I think the 6th Sense one's got a little bit more rattle to it too. So, all right, now so as far as area goes, where we're throwing this time of year, my favorite is the creek channel swings where there's a lot of wood. I mean, I know you're saying, well, jerkbait's gonna get hung up, and that is true. But when they don't get hung up, you're throwing this jerkbait down and hitting the top of these trees. You're going beside these trees, and it's suspending right there by the bases of these trees. Man, it's just awesome, awesome. And a lot of times too, I throw them in some ditches. So I'm going to the back of these coves, and you know the banks are real steep. You know, 8-9 foot on one side, 8-9 foot on the other side, and just the middle. I mean, it's just a big ditch is all that cove is. I'll sit right in the middle of that cove and I'll throw this jerkbait, and you know I'll work it pretty fast. Sometimes I'll stop it, a lot of long pauses. But those are the two best areas that I have. You can also throw them, you know, secondary points. You know, you want to stay about, I like to stay about the 8 to 12 foot range with these jerkbaits. It's just because I think I'm getting down deep enough to where I'm getting these fish off the bottom, and I'm not getting down too deep to where I'm getting hung up on the bottom. So I think I'm getting that whole variety of the suspending fish on the bottom, and stuff like that too. And sometimes I'll see some fish suspended in some trees, suspended off the graph, and I'll throw a jerkbait down there and catch them. And man, when they eat that jerkbait, it's a lot of fun. So right now we're in the back of this cove, and the middle of this cove is about 9-10 foot. So a lot of people, they'll go down and flip these trees and all that, flip this boat dock, and they'll catch some fish. But especially in the winter time, these fish, bigger fish, can be out in the middle of this cove. And it's 8-9 foot area. That's where exactly where I want to throw this jerkbait. So I'm gonna make a long cast. But you want to make a long cast with it, just because it's gonna take you a long time to get it back in. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna tighten your line. And you just want to give it a couple good jerks. Now, right now, I'm thinking I'm about that 3 to 4 foot range. I'm gonna let it pause right there for a second. I'm gonna tighten my line and give us a couple good more jerks. So right now, I'm thinking I'm about 5-6 foot. I'm gonna let it pause there. The pause is where you're gonna get your most bites. Sometimes too, you'll start jerking it and you'll feel like, oh, I got a fish on. Sometimes you go feel the pause and they just knock the crap out of it. And so you gotta keep an eye on your line too, because that's your biggest key. I'll see them hit slack in that line. That's when I know I have a fish. Sometimes I'll feel them knock the crap out of it. But this ditch right here is where you're gonna catch some big fish. And a lot of people skip over it because they're hitting the banks, flipping these bushes and everything like that.
And it's not a real creek channel. It's just kind of a depression.
It's not a creek channel. It's just
a depression in this pocket
right,
here.
It's just a deep cove. It's just a deep ditch. So what I like to do when I'm trying to figure out is, when you first start throwing a jerkbait and you get to a new lake, you got to figure out is if these fish are locking it fast. You know, you keep jerking it, really slacking, keep jerking it, and then bam, you're getting hit. Or if it's one of those days where they're hitting it while it's paused. And so different times throughout the same cast right here, you know, I'll get a long pause right here, working it slow, and then all of a sudden I'll start working it a little fast. And then once I start getting bit more doing one or the other, then I'm gonna start doing that more than I would the other. But most of the time for me, I just got hit.
Well, catch him next time.
I just missed one talking. But see, that one right there, I just felt him just slap at it, and that was on the pause.
And it had been paused for a couple seconds.
So maybe I need to pause it a little longer. But
what's the longest you'll pause it?
Maybe 10 seconds.
Oh wow, 10 seconds.
I mean, I've seen people pause it way longer.
That's an eternity to me.
Oh, I know. I mean, I may go longer than that, but it's just hard. I'm kind of like you. I like to fish a little fast, but if I can make myself pause a little longer, I may get more bites.
Right.
And so you don't really want to jerk it that hard. Like fish I just missed. But when you actually get a bite, you just want to time your line up and you're just loading up. And you got to kind of reel set it, just kind of reel set it.
Well, there you go, guys. That's a good job. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming on and doing that. I know that's a great wintertime technique that I certainly need to take more time and learn better myself, because I know the kind of fish it catches. I see it year in, year out. Every year this time of year, a lot of guys catch a lot of really big fish on Lake Fork and all over on those jerkbaits this time of year. And so I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
sharing the lowdown with us.
You know, and I'm not, you know, I just started throwing a jerkbait too, you know, just a few years ago. And it's because growing up, that's just something that I never threw and I got the guys accustomed to. But I've been seeing so many fish calling jerkbaits, and I just made myself like, all right, you know,
force
myself to do it.
That's how you have to.
Yeah, I mean, KVD has won millions and millions of dollars on that jerkbait.
That's very true.
No matter what lake, time of year, he's got a jerkbait title on, and he can catch them.
That's 100% true. And any of you guys that may happen to watch some of the Major League Fishing stuff, if you go back and watch, you know, very many of them, there's going to be one where you, at some point, you're going to see, because there's been a bunch of times on that show where KVD has worked them over better than anybody else in the field with that jerkbait, and he can catch them in a quick, fast hurry with that jerkbait. So, good technique. Hope these tips help you. Austin did a great job for us. So hopefully you guys can take some of that and learn from it. Go try it out on your own lake. Stick with it. Do better than I have done. Really trying it and really getting committed to it and learning it. Because that's what it takes to learn a new technique. You got to commit to it. You got to take the time.
Absolutely.
Well, there you go, guys. You heard Austin mention one of those 6 cents baits at 6 cents per Provoke 106. Hey, if you're interested in getting some of those to try out, be sure when you go to 6centslures.com, which is linked below, that you enter the code Your Lake Fork Guide, give you a 10% discount on all your purchases at 6centslures.com. Hey, want to get you one of these new hoodies? You can hit that. That's linked below as well at yourlakeforkguide.com. Hit this guy up. Give him a call if you want to run a guide trip on Lake Fork. He'll take good care of you. I can promise you that. His number is below as well. All that stuff's linked below, so you guys check that out. Give my boy Austin a call if you want to get on a guide trip with him. And I guess other than that, we just appreciate you guys watching. Leave us a comment below to let us know what you think. We'll see you next time right here. Where at?
Your Lake Fork Guide.
Man,